What's going on, gamers? Here we are back with some more Evil Dead the game. What we're covering today is a nice build for this fella right here, the leader Ash, and that's Ash Williams versus the Evil Dead. So if you want to know how to stay alive and help your team out, then stay tuned. That's coming up next. Welcome back, all you guys and girls. As always, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox, then why not hit that subscribe and bell icon. I'll bring you all the latest greatest content, hints, tips, guides and builds, and just some fun gameplay and reviews of upcoming games. But for today, we're here to see this fella right here and how to kind of help your team out, as well as do a nice fair chunk of damage and get some good finishes off. So Ash versus the Evil Dead is one of your leaders. As such, you're going to have an aura about yourself, which is going to help your team out. If we have a little look on the left hand side, well, before we go into a skill tree, what you're going to start off with is show up and blow up. This is going to be your skill that you can use every 30 seconds, and it's going to kind of do a blast radius of 4 meters and knock down a bit of their balance bar. This can help to go into a finisher, or just help out your team if you need to get a bit of balance bar reduction before they go into finishers and such. Just on from there on, we've got El Jefe, an aura that affects all survivors within range, increasing their fear resistance and the damage they inflict. This one is actually pretty tasty. It doesn't do as much as the other leader characters, but it is constant. You don't need to activate it, there's no downtime, it's just a constant damage buff. Really nice, and like I said, as long as you're playing with people and around people constantly, they're going to get additional damage no matter what they're doing, and they're going to get nice fear resistance, so definitely one to help out the team. Just down from here and we've got Old Friend. Start the match with the chainsaw. This is actually really good on this fella, and it means you can do quite a big chunk of balance bar reduction. You could even do quite a bit of limb chopping up if you really wanted to, but the main thing you're trying to do is have enough damage and enough balance bar about yourself in order to go into those finishers quite often. Just underneath there, and we've got El Jefe Grande. Enhances your aura's effects when you perform a finisher or dismember an enemy. Like I said, you've got a chainsaw, you're going to be able to get those dismembers going off without you even trying sometimes if you're just swinging this thing around. But even if you're not, make sure you can go into those finishers and you're going to get your aura effects improvement of 100%, helping your team out massively. Jumping over to the skill tree, and I found that having 2 in this was in general pretty much enough. 10 meters for your great influence means it increases the range of your aura skill. Make sure you're around your team and you're pretty much good to go. If you've got everyone running off from you, you're not going to be the best support in the world, so make sure you're there, make sure you're in amongst the thick of things, and definitely on those kind of key stages like the dagger, the pages, and of course that last one, make sure you're near some of the toughest hitting allies such as the warriors, or even if you wanted to, probably the hunters, but they would definitely get a little bit more from an Aninobi than yourself. So being around the warriors I found worked a little bit best. Just over from here, and we've got 1 in cardio. We get stamina cost reduction of 5% there, and we go straight along from our skill tree. Just over there, we've got arcane knowledge. Increases the range you can detect object items. Now, this does actually help without you even needing it to. It can mean that you can see the items a little bit easier. We're not going to spec fully into this, because if we were, we would be taking way too much out of our build, but this does help us get to the end of the tree. Next up, and we've got quicker cooldown, meaning we can do our special move a little bit easier, but again, it's not the be all and end all, it's only 5%, our thing is 30 seconds, so that means we get 1.5 off. Definitely not going to light the world on fire, but it does mean we can get to the end here, the Master of Influence. 20% extra aura effect improvement, his aura's up all times, make sure you're around your team and you're definitely going to help them out. Just down from here we've got Artful Dodger, reduces the stamina cost of dodging. Now, the amount of kind of times this has helped me out, I can't count on one or probably both of my hands. Definitely invest 1 into this, it will help you out massively, just because dodging is such a big thing for your squishy type of builds. You don't have to worry about it anywhere near as much if you're a warrior or anything such as that. but if you're one of the kind of characters that only gets a few in their health, especially if they're not too leveled up, this is one you definitely want to invest in. Just down from here, and we've now got industrial strength. This is going to give us 20% extra maximum health. Like I said, you do want to be in the thick of things. You can use your long range weapon if you want, but a lot of times you're going to want to be going into your finisher in order to help your team out and provide the extra buff to the aura ability, giving them more damage overall. Just over here, and we've got deep pockets. Matchsticks, you're able to carry one more matchstick. I don't think this matters much, I really don't. I would love to tell you it does, but ultimately we're just doing this to go a little bit further in our skill tree. Next we've got light therapy, increases the speed that fear lowers in lit areas. This can actually help a little bit, and it allows us to go on to this one, which is fear no evil. Reduction of fear received 5%. Not the be all and end all, but it does help. Along with this one, meaning our fear reduction is quite nice, and as a character that does a little bit of fear reduction, it's definitely a nice thing to have. Also, it means we're able to get just over to here, and that's tougher than hell. It's going to mean you've got a damage reduction of 5% at all times, and even though it does not sound like it's that significant, along with the fact that you've got this in your build, a little bit of extra health, it can really help you to stay alive. Also, like I said, you're going into your iframes a lot through your finishers, meaning that this guy's not quite as glass cannon and can really help the team out because you want him to be alive in order to give everyone that aura effect. If however you were playing, say for example, in a team with a Pablo constantly, then probably having this would work out a little bit better. You're going to bop 3 into your reinforced amulet to give you 10% extra damage negation, and then a little bit into your improved amulet. I didn't really play with many Pablos, and I found overall this was just a nicer build to chuck on. Jumping down to the bottom here, and what's going to allow us to actually do our finishers and to do a little bit of dishing out of damage, we're going to put 3 into the Seeing Stars, which is going to give balance bar damage 25% extra, and just over from there, Devastating Force, 15% extra on our melee weapon damage, really helps out and allows us to get those early finishers. Really nice, and because we're doing that, if I manage to go over there, it means we're going to have the El Jefe Grande going off quite a lot with the aura effect improvements of 100%. All around, I found this was a really nice, kind of well-rounded build, and it allowed for a bit of survivability, bit of damage, nice finishers, and the rest is kind of down to how your playstyle is. Just make sure you're around your teammates, definitely make sure you're around your damage dealers, and you're going to be golden with this build as long as they're taking out the bosses fast and you're not trying to focus on them yourself, because you won't be able to last too long against them. Then you should be good to go. But as always gamers, let me know in the comments if you've got any changes that you've made to your character, but overall I found this definitely the best for him. As always, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox, take care. I'll see you on the next day.